Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Richard Marks. I am the director for the Cross Cultural Center and Center for Global Citizenship. The Cross Cultural Center is part of the Division of Diversity and Community Engagement, which sits under the helm and realm of Dr. Jonathan Smith, who is the vice president. A little bit about myself. I am from Indianapolis, Indiana, and I've been here at St. Louis University for now 6 years, since 2014. And I would say that St. Louis University has offered me a wealth of opportunity and knowledge and excitement and experiences here that I find myself extremely happy and excited about the student that comes here. You, the student, will be here soon. Um, I will be giving a presentation that talks a little bit daring to be you at St. Louis University, at SLU. We're going to talk a little bit about the excitement of you walking through those doors for the first time and being here at St. Louis University and just being authentically yourself. We encourage that. But before we get to that space, I wanted to kind of ask a couple of questions for you to ponder while we have this presentation. So, how many of you all are a little apprehensive about being here at St. Louis University, being away from home, being away from your parents, your guardians, your brothers, your sisters, just familiarity? How many of you all are a little apprehensive about, hey, am I going to find some friends here? Am I going to meet someone that's similar to my values and morals that I've been taught here at home? Am I just going to like it here at St. Louis University? How can I really be somewhere different than where I am and really feel comfortable? Yeah, those questions are known, and those questions are okay. But I'm here to share with you that me, Dr. Richard Marks, and my staff here at St. Louis University, we're here to help. We're here to help you navigate through those questions and through others that may come up. We're here to make sure that your experiences are positive, they're rewarding, and that they're enriching and engaging. And that through those experiences that you will leave here in the next 4 to 5 years as a student, but now going into the world as a professional who has gained experiences that you couldn't even fathom. You'll have things in your toolbox that you can use that will make you one of the leading edge leaders here in our society. You will be a productive and serving citizen. And that's what we're here to do for you. So I'm excited for this presentation. I'm excited to talk to you all here. The next slide talks a little bit about a video, and it's called Sometimes You're a Caterpillar. So I don't own the rights to this video at all. It's animated by a Cat Black. But here at the bottom of the page is a link. So I want you to watch this video. It's about 3 minutes, a little over 3 minutes long. And you take observation of what it's saying and what you hear and, and the ideologies that's coming out of this video. And we'll talk a little bit about it after you've watched the video. So go ahead, pause the video, that this presentation right now, and then put in your link, your YouTube link. Sometimes You're a Caterpillar. Watch this video, and then we can come back and resume this presentation. So how did you like the video? What questions arose? So are you the caterpillar or are you the snail? Sometimes I find me being both, depending upon the context, depending upon what's going on. Yeah, there are some really interesting things that came out of that video. I mean, and the thing that I captured from the video is the beauty of difference. The beauty of being able to understand that although I may have a different race or different sexual orientation or religion or gender, disabilities, any of those particular identities, they may be different than yours. I want you to understand that although I have differences, I'm still human. I still have challenges. And you may not understand those things, but in dialogue, in conversation, in engagements, we can be able to help one another and be able to understand each other. That's considered to be growth, you all. Our office promotes that. Our office promotes differences. We celebrate differences. And we encourage that you be your authentic self. We encourage that you come to St. Louis University and explore what that is for you. I'm excited that your parents have given you a foundation, that your guardians have given you a foundation. And as a student coming to St. Louis University and as a MLK scholar, it is very important to understand who you are, but understand your differences in others. Because in order to serve and in order to be a good steward, you have to know who you are and be able to understand that maybe you're different than someone else. And maybe even though you share the same racial background or you may share the same gender, there are experiences that still make us different. And though I don't understand your differences, then it may be hard for me to see your side or the side of the coin. I govern myself accordingly to be able to be open enough to overcome this together. And that's part of what being an MLK scholar is about. It's important about being a St. Louis University student. It's important about pairing it and understanding it, how it relates to the St. Louis University Jesuit mission. All of those things are important. And I really want you to understand that that's what we're here to help you with. We're helping you to navigate those things here at St. Louis University and navigate what that looks like for you as a student. Who are we? We are St. Louis University's Cross Culture Center, and we're kind of the haven for diversity, social justice, and inclusion. And what we do is to foster a vibrant community of leaders who are committed to global diversity, who's committed to social justice and inclusivity while promoting the historical, cultural, intellectual, and social traditions of marginalized populations in collaboration with community and campus partners. You're wanting to be a Martin Luther King scholar. This vision in and of itself is what a Martin Luther King scholar is about. We want you to come in and be that leader. We want you to be committed to social challenges and social justice, and the inclusivity of others. There are global things that are going on in our country, or well, in our world, that are important, that impact us all. And as MLK scholars, you're one of those leading people who are going to help charge and pave the way so that we can make the injustice just. Our office does that as well. And that's what we are here to do, to make aware and to support those who are mission driven in that ideology. Our mission here in the Cross Culture Center is to promote multicultural awareness and education provided support services to historical, underrepresented, and marginalized populations for student, faculty, and staff, and to help one develop into a critical, reflective, and social just leader. Again, Martin Luther King scholars, you live for this. This is what we want. This is the type of scholar we want here. We're looking for someone who is going to be in that mindset. And I do understand that many people are applying for the scholarship because, it's helpful financially. We're very aware of that. But we also understand, too, that being an MLK scholar comes with some responsibility. And that means that there will be service that you will have to provide, not only within the campus, but there may be some services agencies that you will work with outside of the campus, and there'll be hours that you will have to provide for us. We want you to be very engaged in our MLK Scholars program. And as an MLK scholar, while you're able and afforded to get the actual scholarship, it is more important in regards to the service that you're able to provide to others less fortunate in helping to bring an unjust social area to more of a justice type space, right? Yeah. So it's important that you, as MLK scholars, understand your role as an MLK scholar. We are located in, meaning the Cross Culture Center, we are located in the Center for Global Citizenship. That is the building on campus with all the flags. The flags that are represented on top represent our student body. So you will see flags from various countries because there are students who are actually representing that country here on our campus. And so we, as Cross Culture Center, work very collaboratively with the international office here on campus, with some of our international students, and definitely with some of our international organizations here on campus. It's important that the Cross Culture Center and our staff build relationships with these constituents and with these offices and divisions, because we want to make sure that our presence is known, one, but also that we are able to support and advocate for students who are in those marginalized spaces. And many of our international students come in those spaces, right, to St. Louis. They're coming here as a second language that they're speaking, English being a second language. They're coming here not being very familiar with the United States or American culture, only from what they see on TV or what they hear through the internet or whatever. But to be here and to experience it is a very different space. So in the Cross Culture Center, we open our spaces up to our faculty and staff of those marginalized and social identities to develop solidarity. We use these spaces to find support and to build and express pride in their social identities. Some of the organizations that have been very apparent and visible within our office has been MESA, which is the Middle East Student Association. We have the Filipino Student Association. We have our Black Student Association. We have Asian American Student Association. So many of those student organizations come to our office for assistance. They come for ideas and they're making themselves presently known. Also, we have a program here, a student organization called the Overground Railroad, who focuses primarily on a lot of volunteerism within the community to some of our underrepresented and underprivileged schools for tutoring. So they're very visible in our spaces as well. Come and see the Center for this Cross Culture Center. We do a lot of great work there. And we are able to provide you or resource you to those opportunities that are on our campus, but also outside of our campus as well. Our second bullet talks about serving as a vehicle of self-expression and leadership enhancement to students, faculty, and staff through vehicles of workshops, seminars, and programs. And I'll talk a little bit more about what that looks like with some of the programming that we have in our office and more. We provide a lot of programming, and we also specialize in making programming for particular groups. So say, for example, you're a resident advisor and you want us to do a program that focuses on privilege. What is privilege on your floor? So we will, based on conversation, put together a program so that will really be very focused on what it is that you're looking for within your floor. We may do another program for Christian organization that focuses on social justice and what that looks like from a Christian perspective. They will sit down with us. We will have conversations about how we can prevent any type and facilitate diversity, equity, and inclusion in that programmatic space. We tailor the program to your need. So that's one of the things that our office does well, and we do that through our workshops. There's sometimes seminars that we put together to really focus on particular DEI topics, and various programs that we do. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Also, third bullet, we engage the larger campus and local communities in pertinent historical and contemporary social and global issues and offer a platform to advocate around those issues. Cross Culture Center put together a number of things with large programming, as you will see on our next slide, to offer students a clear path of it's bigger than just you. As MLK scholars, that is one of your missions and one of your values, is that it's bigger than you. It's not about you, it's about others. It's about service to others. It's about helping others, making things more just than the injustice, right? So this is what we do. And so I hope that you understand that the Cross Culture Center is here for all students. And while our focus is on a lot of our marginalized groups and our social identities, any student is more than welcome to come in there because we are a diverse people. And sometimes students get into the space of thinking, well, I'm a white student, so I don't want to go over to because it's only for students of color. No, you are not just a white student. You come with many and multiple identities, and some of those identities aren't going to be identified as privileged. So you come to our office and you can learn about it, even if you're coming from a privileged space. You can be an ally, you can be an advocate. You are able to still understand your place, understand who you are. And that's part of the exploration that I was explaining and talking about in the very beginning of the presentation. Programs and signature events. As you see here, we had Angela Davis here on our campus a couple of years ago, and I'm telling you, she came to campus and rocked it out. It was a standing room only event, and she gave a presentation that was jaw dropping. It was phenomenal. She's an activist. She's a poet. She's also a professor, and she came to St. Louis University to talk about, activism as it relates to you as a college student. As we know, Angela Davis was one of those people who was very active, not only in college, but also their jail time as a Black Panther, all of those things. But she came to campus to share her wisdom and the wealth of knowledge that she had, and it was very well received. She, like other people we've had on campus, come to campus to really explore and explain their work, their role, and encourage students to be bigger than just who they are. And we have programming like that throughout the academic year. We also encourage you as students to give us ideas of programs. We are very open and welcome to that. But as I'm moving forward to these slides, I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the signature programs that we have here on campus. And one of them is our Safe Zone Competency Program. Our Safe Zone Competency Program is a program that focuses on the Safe Zone program strive to shed light on systemic use of heteronormativity and cisnormativity at St. Louis University's campus while providing education surrounding building support systems for the LGBTQ community and its allies. And through education, advocacy, and awareness of the LGBTQ and ally issues, the program seeks to become a stepping stone to shifting the campus climate and provide a space to begin focusing on intersectional competency. This program is in 4 stages, and so we have and they're comprehensive. So the first stage is, and first phase is a pretty introductory space where we're talking about definitions, we're giving a glossary of what LGBTQ is. Our second stage is our second phase is a step above that, and we're talking about the use of these particular glossary terms and how things came to be the way they are. So giving some historical references between 2 and phase 3. We're giving those historical references and talking about how you yourself look into those, how you are in those spaces or not, whether you're sitting in a privileged space as a heterosexual person, or if you're sitting in a space of the LGBTQ identity. And if you are, what that looks like in regards to your role, your responsibility, your accountability. And role or phase 4 kind of culminates all of that together into allyship. At the end of all 4 phases, the person actually receives a certificate, also a sticker that they could put on their wall or on their door or whatever, signifying that they are Safe Zone trained. That for a student is very, very exciting because then when students see that actual sticker, which is that in the very middle, it will signify to that student that this is a safe and brave space for any LGBTQ or questioning person to come in and have a discussion because either that person identifies as LGBTQ and or they are also an ally. So this gets to one of the things that I am excited about, which is what you are excited about. You are interviewing for our MLK Scholars program. Once you are able to become an MLK Scholar, we in the Cross Culture Center are the ones who are responsible for the maintenance to you as the MLK Scholar student. So, as the MLK Scholar, the Cross Culture Center is responsible for making sure that you are doing what you need to do to be an advocate in this program or to be a student in this program. So, as an MLK Scholar, you already know that you have to have at least an ACT score of 23 or greater, or SAT score of 1050, and a cumulative GPA of 3.25 or higher. And in that, that's the scholarship piece and the GPA pieces, but you are required in this program to do service. Not community service, but service. And there is a difference. And this is why you want to be a part of the program. I am honestly going to say that we know that many students come in and they're interested in the funding that this scholarship offers. We are not ignorant to that fact. But we also are encouraging to let you know that being a part of the MLK Scholars requires your passion. It requires you wanting to help others. We want you to be present. We want you to be good stewards. We want you to, help others. It's what our mission stands for. But it's also about what MLK stood for. He was a social activist. He was an important figure in the country because his fight wasn't just for people of color, but it was for all people, humankind. And that goes in line with the Jesuit mission. So the MLK Scholars Program is housed under the Cross Culture Center, and we have staff that are responsible for you and the works that you do within the program. One of our other signature programs that we have is the African American Male Scholars Program. It is a current trend in our country that our African American males, our Black males, are the least to graduate and the least to be successful within the collegiate space. So many predominantly white institutions have come up with Black male initiative programs at their institution to give support to help those Black students navigate through their predominantly white institutional spaces. And so in this program, Black male students are afforded a safe space where they have conversations and they are able to have dialogues and be able to talk and share about the concerns and challenges that they're having as Black males in this program or in the institution. And myself, my office is there to help navigate them in conjunction and in correspondence and collaboration with other entities on our campus so that they can be successful and so that they can do well. And we can encourage and increase the graduation rate of our Black males on campus. Our next program that we have here, which will be coming in fall of 2020, is our Audre Lorde Scholars Program. Audre Lorde is identified as a feminist, and what we wanted to do is get our women of color to be a part of this program, which is similar to our African American male scholars, but different in that this is open to all our women of color. Whereas with the African American male scholars program, that program is focused primarily on just the Black male students, not exclusive to, but focuses on. This program is focusing on the women of color specifically, but not exclusive to. And so, just like the Black male student, we are looking for ways to help and to partner with our faculty, staff, and students to help women of color navigate at the predominantly white institution space. And these are spaces that women of color share their challenges, their concerns, their celebrations, all of that in this scholarship program. One of the things that we also do is our diversity movie series. Once a month, there is a movie that is supported by the Cross Culture Center where we focus on diversity awareness in some way, shape, or form, whether that's within a social identity or ethnic or cultural space. We have shown movies to, enhance and bring awareness of those things and those identities. And we have discussions, very in-depth discussions about that particular identity, that topic, that particular awareness. It's important for us to still bring the levity, you know, but also and use that in a celebratory way, but also be able to educate and bring awareness of that and really have some enriching conversations. We've been able to do that successfully for the past 2 years, and we're going to continue to do that moving forward. One of the other programs that we do here is the I Am series. I Am series is a series that is focused on you as the individual and as it relates to race, specifically with the intersection of other identities. For example, this past year we did race and mental health. We did race and gender, well, specifically with women. And we did race and we did sexual orientation. Those were three particular, all focused on race and those particular identities that I expressed, that I mentioned, and what that looks like. And we had students from various courses, various spaces come and participate in those particular topics. Those topics are facilitated by faculty here on our campus. So faculty are getting involved also within the Cross Culture Center to talk about their particular works or their passions in the area of diversity. In the Cross Culture Center, it is important to understand that not only do we have great relationships, collaborative relationships with stakeholders on campus, such as Student Involvement Center, Center for Service and Community Engagement, Campus Ministry, Housing and Residence Life, some of our academic partners. We have those relationships, but we also have community outreach as well, where we have in partnerships. We work with our Urban League, we work with the NAACP. We also work with other neighborhood associations within the surrounding areas, such as Tower Grove, um, Central West End. There are places where we are partnering with these particular areas so that that focuses on marginalized and underrepresented issues and concerns and demographics. So our relationships and our collaborations and partnerships are not just in-house, but they're externally as well. So we work sure that we are able to build those relationships, especially with agencies that have representations focused primarily within the marginalized space. Another partnership is Diversity Awareness Partnership, that's identified as DAP, where they're focused on diversity works within the community. As you see here in this picture, one of the greatest programs that we do here on campus and is co-sponsored with Housing and Residence Life is our Civil Rights Pilgrimage. This is where we take at least 20 students on a civil rights pilgrimage and we journey to states in the South uh, that had historical references to the civil rights. As you see here, we have a number of students who are standing on the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama, which is significant and historic in its own right in our civil rights history. We do programs like that because we really want to make sure that students understand that while being here at St. Louis and being here at St. Louis University, that there's so much rich history to as to why and here where we are here at St. Louis. It's important that we explore that outside the gates of St. Louis and bring reference to that and bring that back home and to educate your fellow student. Diversity here at SLU is very interesting in that, we have students who come from various spaces, right? Some very homogenous and some more diverse than others. So St. Louis University prides itself on hearing the voice of the student, hearing the voice of our faculty and staff. St. Louis prides itself on opening the doors up for critical thought and critical discussion. And sometimes that can be a little bit jarring and uncomfortable. But uncomfort brings growth, right? Back in 2014, off the heels of the shooting of Michael Brown, one of the things our students did was to hold a demonstration. And in that demonstration, which lasted about a week or plus long, came the Division of Diversity and Community Engagement. That Diversity and Community Engagement Division, which is now Dr. Smith, Jonathan Smith is now the actual vice president of that division, came out what was called Occupy SLU. Through Occupy SLU, there were the main things that came out of that was the Clock Tower Accords. And of that, there were 13 Clock Tower Accords that the students and the community charged the institution that they need to make better here on our campus for all students, specifically as it relates to students of color. And the Diversity and Community Engagement Division became one of those things. St. Louis University is open to hearing the voice of the students. We pride ourselves on that and being able to do that. And you have great access to our upper level administration. They are very visible here on our campus. And so, diversity as it looks, can we do better? Absolutely. Are we doing better? We're making strides, right? And so, you as a student, you're coming into an area in which, in an institution where diversity is growing, and we're priding ourselves on that. So you all help me understand what's the difference between the intersections between Ignation and justice. Can anyone tell me? Well, Ignation basically it comes in like six spaces for me, or I think six spaces, and it's Acura Personalis, Magis, men and women for others. These are values, the unity of the mind and the heart, being contemplative in action, and finding God in all things. These are kind of the values I think Ignation talks about in regards to the spiritual finding, the spirituality pieces of things. Basically, justice is the action of that. And the intersection of that is the help for others, the help for men and women for others. It's being able to help all in their endeavors in the unjust world, you know, making things equitable and just. That is what the intersection is for me. And I think, as you journey here at St. Louis University and become engrossed and engaged in the numerous activities, you'll find that it's important for you to recognize what the mission is and how you exemplify and demonstrate the expression of our mission. Our commitment here at the institution, and specifically within the Cross Culture Center, to social justice and diversity on campus is paramount. I've talked a little bit about some of the programs that we have here. Not only things that we do within residence halls, as I said before, we can tailor the program to fit your need, but also the same thing we do in the classroom and also within the greater community here at St. Louis University. We have workshops, we have trainings, we have in-service if that's something you're interested in. And we have tons and tons of collaborations with various internal and external stakeholders. We advocate for marginalized issues, marginalized identities, marginalized translations and concerns. It is important for you to understand that in our office, we are the hub for diversity, education, and inclusion, equity and inclusion. We are the ones who are going to represent and to advocate for you in the means of injustice, making things socially just. As MLK scholars, it is important to recognize your role here. When you come to St. Louis, it's not just about your academics, but it's also about the social grace, the social service that you're able to give to others. There are many people who are less fortunate than you are. And there's ways in which you can give that service to help them so that they can be better. We're not asking that you neglect your academics because your scholarship is contingent upon that. But we are asking that you, as a student, explore who you are. We ask that you be open to others. We ask that you are able to entertain the conversation of different perspectives. Understand that there are variant struggles of people and experiences, and we all have them. There's beauty in differences. And at the end of the day, you just want to do good. The Cross Culture Center, we're here to do that. And we're here to encourage that. We support you, and we are very excited that you want to come to SLU. So I'll leave you with these words. It is important that you understand that coming to St. Louis University is not just you coming to school just to learn and to be educated, but it's you coming to St. Louis University so that you can be who you are and explore that in every way, shape, form. It is important that you understand that coming to St. Louis University, you will leave these doors very different than where you walked in. And all of that, I hope it's all for the better. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and I am very excited for you to interview very well in wanting to become an MLK Scholar. So if you have any questions or any comments, please feel free to give me a call or actually an email. My email address is richard.marks@slu.edu. Again, that's richard.marks, MARKS, @slu.edu. I look forward to any of your responses or any of your thoughts. I'm looking for you to share any information that you have or even ask those questions. I'm very much open to being able to share any of that information with you and answering your questions fully. Good luck in your interview, and hopefully we'll see you here at SLU in the fall.